So Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are in the process of abandoning the $15 minimum wage, and they cannot put all the blame on the Senate Parliamentarian. Now, if you didn't hear yesterday, the Senate Parliamentarian, basically an unelected, appointed person that you've never heard about probably until last night, decided that the $15 minimum wage wasn't applicable to the, COVID relief bill because it didn't have a quote unquote, direct effect on the budget, either increasing it or decreasing it, despite the fact that the Congressional Budget Office said it had quite a large effect. It would have tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars of effect, clearly making it a budgetary item. And despite that, the parliamentarian said, nah, it can't be in there. And from what we've heard thus far, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are basically like, oh, well, too bad, so sad. I guess we'll just have to listen to them. That is BS. Everyone who knows what they're talking about, and a lot of progressives from Jayapa to Omar to Bernie Sanders to AOC to Jamal Bowman to Cori Bush and all the rest, they've been making it clear. The parliamentarians should generally be respected, and their voice should be heard, and their advice should be taken, but they are not in charge. There is one person in charge of the Senate rules, and that is Kamala Harris. As vice president, she is president of the Senate. And when it comes to this sort of ruling about whether an item is eligible for reconciliation or not, the buck stops with her. The parliamentarian is not the rule maker. They give advice. Harris can say, thank you for your advice, parliamentarian, but I disagree with you here. And it would take 60 votes to overrule her disagreement with the parliamentarian, which won't happen, which means if Harris puts her foot down, if her and Biden got together, because she wouldn't do it without Biden's advisement, because ultimately the VP serves the agenda of the president, Biden could say to her, Vice President Harris, put your foot down, make sure it stays in the bill, let's force it through. And then you put the pressure on Manchin and Sinema and say to these moderate ghoul Dems, vote down this incredibly popular package. Vote it down. Go against it. Go against it even though the very, very conservative Republican governor of West Virginia has come out and said he likes the package. He thinks, if anything, when in doubt, go bigger. The $1.9 trillion package has had the minimum wage as part of it openly for weeks now, and it is still popular, meaning that people know this package to have the minimum wage in it. You cannot blame the parliamentarian. This is on Biden and Harris. It is on them. And if they're worried about Sinema and Manchin, it's their job to get on those people and basically haul them in a room and whip them until they get their job done. Biden and Harris and the Democratic Party broadly ran on a very thin platform. They didn't actually make a whole lot of promises. But one of the promises they did make was a $15 minimum wage. And they have to get that done. No more, kowtowing to these two ghouls from Arizona and West Virginia like they own the goddamn place. Get it done. Because it's not happening otherwise. It is not happening otherwise. Because if you put it as a standalone bill, you're going to need 60 votes. Again, because Sinema and Manchin want to give the GOP all the power. Because they think the 60-vote filibuster isn't stupid. And it is stupid. And it needs to go. But right now, you have a golden opportunity. Maybe the only opportunity you're going to get for the next 2 to 4 years to pass the $15 minimum wage. Get it in this bill and force Manchin and force Sinema to vote down a package supported by a majority of even Republicans. This is on Biden and Harris. Don't let them get away with it. This is their promise. They have to use their power. They at least have to try to get Sinema and get Manchin to vote for the COVID relief bill that includes a $15 minimum wage. And if the parliamentarian doesn't want to play ball, you can fire them or you can override them, but get it done. People aren't going to get it. Jayapal said in 2022 at the midterms, we are not going to be able to explain to people at the doorstep or, in digital campaign ads or whatever, the Senate Parliamentarian, they ruled this, and as per section 42 point blah, 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 blah of the Senate blah, 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 the jurisdictional blah, 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 blah is that we couldn't do it. They will not care.
This is a policy that would pick 1 million people up out of poverty. And it's something that we promised and that has popular, bipartisan support across the country. So yes, I think we really believe that it is essential that we deliver on this promise. Voters are not going to understand if we go back and in 2 years and say, you know what, there's a parliamentarian who told us we couldn't do it, so I'm sorry we couldn't deliver what we promised. That is simply not going to cut it. And this is an emergency for so many of the lowest wage workers in the country.
You promised it, deliver it.